So, like any other library, we have to import Matplotlib first, but there are a few rules that we need to understand that we should be plotting when it is required. Plotting is not for machine learning or deep learning, but it is for us. We do a plot to get more understanding in dataset, to understand how it really works, and to understand what we need to do, what we need to do, what we have to do in the coming future. That means by plotting, we understand the data set, we understand the values in data set, and then we decide what kind of algo and technique we should be using in our model. So it is for human and for us, not for the machine. You can create a project without doing a single plot and directly create a model. So I hope that clears the way of doing it. Now, the reason for doing it is that it makes our work very easy. So we get a very clear insight by seeing a plot. If you take an example, suppose we have a data set of 100 rows and it has, say, 40 columns. By looking at the table, you won't be able to understand too much. But if you I give you a plot where you're getting a clear relationship between the features, it will be far easier for you to understand what is going on inside. Now, let's move forward and start with the importing part. So what I'm doing, I'm using import sys. Now this is not really required, but I'm just doing it in case I required it somewhere. And I'm importing NumPy, I'm importing Matplotlib, I'm importing Matplotlib style, which you can skip completely. That is okay. So practically, you don't require this first library. You don't require this style part. If you want to use it, I can put a hash over it and import matplotlib.pyplot as plt. This is the main library that you need to import. Now, if you're importing this, you won't require this either. But again, in case I use it somewhere, I might need it. So I'm keeping it, or you can remove it too. Then I'm also using a line that is called percentage matplotlib inline. Now we use this to get a proper plotting and get a clarity. And the main reason for it is that you don't want a new window to open and show you the plot. You want this plotting to be done within the cell. And this is what is controlled by input line. And we can also use plot.show if we are not using this. So both are okay. And I'm going to use both so that we get a clear plot and there are no confusion. So this is for only Jupyter Notebook and kind of environment, but it is not required in a Spider kind of environment. So when I run this, I think I have to check this. Okay, this was, it takes little time. So first time if you're using Colab, if you're not aware of Colab, any import in Colab first time will take little time. It will be not as fast as Jupyter Notebook that you use in desktop. Okay, I'm using Colab right now. So if you use Jupyter Notebook, it will not take that much time. So I'm just checking the style available for me. I'm not going to use too much style because again, guys, we do plotting for us. So presentation is not that much important when you're doing it for yourself. Okay. But these are the styles that you can use. And without importing the style, this important part, you won't be able to use any of the style. Okay. So if you use any style anywhere, it will give you an error. So random number nb, I'm creating a random number of 10 and I'm giving 10 as an input. So if I'm giving 10 as an input, that means it will have 0 to 9 numbers and it will be printing the value for me. So as you can see that I'm getting 10, 9 inputs, sorry, now 10 outputs, and in this I'm having some random numbers. Now, after this random number, what want to do, I want to do a simple plot. Now, when I use plot.plot, it means I'm looking for a line plot. So when you want to plot a line chart, you use this plot. A line chart is simply line over a plot. So this kind of output you will be there. Now, again, guys, don't forget that this is a random number. Now, random number means that it will be different for you. You might see something else. I'm seeing this. Every time when I run this, I will be looking at the new chart. So random number will be fluctuating up and down. Next, what I'm doing, I'm just plotting the random number, but I'm also adding G. I'm adding a label. I'm adding a line width. Now, line width is something that is controlled and used to control the width of the line. Label is, on the other hand, is used to simply put a label. So when you have a plot like this, you want to put a label. So you have a legend box here where you have the labels written. So to this get this particular label, you use label. Now, if you are using label, you have to use the legend part too. This legend part is required. They work hand in hand. So you will not see this box. You won't be able to see this box if you are not using legend here. This is very important to understand. Now, next is just my line width. So how thick the line should be. So if I'm going for the line plot, how thick this line will be is what I'm controlling here. And then X label and Y label. So the label of this X axis and the label of the Y axis. This is my X axis. This is my Y axis. So what label I want to put there? That is what I'm discussing here. And then the title. So what the title I want to have. So what will be the title here is what I'm going to decide from title. And the legend part, I already discussed that you need this box, so you have to use legend there. So cleaning all this, let's run the cell to see the output. So as you can see, we are getting a very thick line, and it is in the same proportion because the values are same. So you're getting the same value, same output. But the legend is there. This is far better than this. We are getting a proper legend. We are getting a x-axis and y-axis label. We are also getting a top heading, right? And this heading is what makes it different. Let me make it 21 now. Okay. So I hope it makes sense. Moving forward, what we will do, we will simply use a web and time list. What we are creating a list which will have values. Now, the trend of the values is quite easy. What you want to do, you want to keep the initial value and the ending value very small, and the center value will be bigger. So, what you want to do, we want to increase the value from center. You again want to decrease the value. You're creating a mountain-like structure here. For the time part, you will be maintaining the values from low value to the higher value, and it will be like this only. Once you're done with this, you will simply go for the plotting part. So let me create this list first. Now, what I will do, again guys, I'm simply plotting it. So I'm using plt.plot. What I'm trying, I'm giving both the values. So I have given web customer, I've given time hours, and I'm using the X label, Y label, title, and show. Again, all the things are there. Again, guys, we are not putting any label here. So plot.legend is not required. Okay. So that is what is changing in this particular cell. I'm running this, and you will see a mountain like structure. Now you can make it thick, you can make it different label or whatever you want to try. You can try different values here, but this is how you get the plot. Moving forward, what I am doing in the second plot, I'm giving the same values again. So same list has been given again, but this time I am using label, I am using color, I am using line style and line width. Now guys, line width is 2.5, line style is dash dash. This is to put a style on the over the line. So if you have a line, suppose this is my line, okay, this is my normal line. If I want to put a style like this, I will use dash dash. It will be like this only. Okay. And color is for red. So R stands for red color. So it will give me a red color here. Okay. And this is my label. So this label will be given somewhere at the right side of the table. Now, the plot. Now, this label will only be there if you are using a legend here. So you have to use this legend. That is the connection. And title label, I hope you already know that X label is there, Y label is there. So X axis label will be our, Y label access label will be no number of users, and the web site traffic. So hope you get the idea. Let us run the cell and see what happens. Let me clear this. All right. So you see a plot as we discussed. This, it is red. We are getting dashes, and we have labels too. So this is how you get the plot. So you can see the difference or in this plot and this plot, there's a huge difference. The line is thicker and in style and the color is far more brighter. You also have labels here. You didn't have the labels. So you have the labels here too. So do you have this web analysis? So what this line is telling you, it is also given here, which makes a lot of sense. And this is how you should be plotting. So moving forward with this, in the next plot, I'm giving the same thing. I'm changing the color to C. Okay. Line style is dash and dot. So there will be a dash and dot. And I'm changing the line style. Line thickness is same. One thing that I'm adding at this particular plot is that I'm adding an axis. So I want my axis to start from 4 and on 20, and the y axis will start from 0 to 2000. Now you can observe that starting points are different, and when the starting points are different, the line will be little up and down. You will see what I'm trying to say here. Other parts are the same. So let us run the cell without wasting any time. All right. So this is my plot, and you can see that I'm getting a dash dot dash dot dash dot. So it is looking up far more stylish. Color is decent too, and I'm putting no legend cell. Again, you will see this particular box as there is no label. You won't be able to see any heading there. So if you want to see some words, anything about the line, you have to put a label here. So I hope you get the idea here. And we are not using show, but still it is showing us this output because we are using a star the matplotlib above inline function. So let's move forward. Plot dot plot, and I'm using time hour and web customer line dash dash line width and alpha. The only new thing that you will see here is alpha. I hope you observe the starting point too. The starting points are different. One is 0, one is 4. As I discussed, we are giving different starting point. So when the starting points are different, we get this kind of output. Okay. So getting back to the topic that we were discussing, that we are going to use alpha. Now alpha is used to provide the transparency. That means if you want to have your lines transparent, you will use alpha. Now guys, one thing that should be clicking on your mind right now, that why transparency, why we want our line to be transparent, because more visible the line is, better the look will be. Suppose you are talking about this plot and this line was transparent, it will look very ugly, right? Light color over that, it is transparent, it won't be that much visible. So why would we want to make our line transparent? So the answer for that is, guys, sometimes when we are plotting, things are not that simple. So suppose this is my plot. Okay, let me create this and see this. Okay, and this is my plot. What I want to do, I want to plot few lines. So let's take a line and I'm going to plot it like this. Okay, something like this. Suppose I have another line. I'm plotting that line like this. Then another line. Then other line. Then another line. Now guys, I hope you understand that when we have the same color and above that we are not using the transparency, we are not able to see what is going on at this position. It is very hard to observe what is going on in this spot. So when you are stuck with this kind of situation, when you have this kind of situation where you cannot really understand what is going on at this spot, okay, we don't know what to do, we really don't have any idea what to do. And this kind of scenario, what you will do, you will try to make them transparent, so even the line are overlapping each other, it is little visible, and that is what you're looking for, and that is how you achieve it. I hope it makes sense and it is clear to you. Moving forward this, so let us move forward and run this cell. So as you can see, I'm getting a little transparency here. This transparency help us to see clearly whatever is overlapping. Right now, I'm just putting one line, so it is not that much clear. But let us do a practical in future. We will do we will plot multiple lines, and by plotting multiple lines, we will get the clarity that what is going on. Okay, so this alpha part we will do again with multiple lines. So moving forward, what we will do, we will simply create a line, and again, guys, we are creating two data set which has these kind of values, as you can see. And what I'm doing, I'm just plotting it. I'm putting axis. Now axis is already clear, so I'm not going to explain it again. Annote is something that I'm right now using. Now annote is something that we can use anytime. Now guys, what is annote? Annote is used if you want to put a particular text and a arrow at a particular position. So giving an example, a very simple and straightforward example of this. Let's suppose you want to do something like this. Okay, a arrow at the peak. To get this arrow, you can use annote for that. Okay, you can also add a text. So if you want to add a text too, so you can add hi there, just simple hide there, and that's it. Now you have a text and an arrow. To do something like this, you can use annote for that. So let us try the annote part. What we will do to get a note, we will use max as in syntax. Okay, the text part basically, and this text will be put it at the location where x and y has 8 and 9 location. Now x is 8 and y is 9. As you can see that we have x 8 here and y 9 here. Okay, we are doing now, so the y is time, and x will be this. So again, getting back to the topic, x y text, so 12 and 9. So we are shifting again, guys, mind this, that y height is 1. So we are not changing the height of that is the y-axis. We are only modifying the x-axis, and that is shifting towards right side. Why? Because we have arrow at 8 location. So we want to put the text part little away from the arrow position. What you're doing, you're putting arrow props, and the arrow props color will be red here. Okay, what I'm trying to do, and next is I'm just putting label, title, and show. So let's run the cell rather than wasting any time and see what we are getting. So this is my arrow, this is my arrow, and this is my text. Okay, so I'm getting a perfect arrow on the tip, and I'm getting a maximum. Now this is what you can do with an arrow and the value. Moving forward, we are doing the same thing, I believe, and I'm just annotating it and putting some different values. So guys, again, we have not used any text, line, style, anything like that. We have simple value and we have simple position. We are using the same dataset that we have above, like this. And what I'm doing, I'm just putting alpha, I'm putting line width, I'm putting line style, everything, and we are annotating the value. Now, guys, again, the values, I hope you remember that 16,600 was the highest value there. So against 11 and 14, so text will be to the right side, and we are doing the same thing. So I'm running this, and you will get this kind of output. Now, this is more sophisticated and more clean, and this is what you usually look for, right? A more clean and neat and clean kind of picture. This look little bit, you can say, raw, more of a raw kind of image, and this is not what you were looking for. So I hope you get the idea how to do this, and if you just close it by a little bit, maybe 10, might improve this. But right now I hope you get the idea that how to plot it like this. Let me Okay, then let's move forward. So I hope you get the idea that when the higher the value you give, longer the arrow length will be. So make it decent and put a small arrow there, so it looks good. Guys, again, you also notice that it is little above from the ground. Okay, it is little above from the ground because you are giving the position of 4 and 15 for x-axis and 0 and 10 for the y-axis. Now observe that your x and y-axis. So this is your x-axis and y-axis, and the values that you're using are starting from 1 and 4. So one value is starting from 1, second value is starting from 4. So when you have this kind of scenario, again, y is starting from 4, so it's okay. So as it is your time is your x-axis, so it is okay. Y starts from 1, okay, and your zero location for y is 0. So it is little above. If you give 1 here, it might improve. And now again, guys, it is like a hit and trial thing. But again, as you can observe, it is getting closer to the ground. Okay, and that is what you are looking for. So I hope you get the idea. And the last value is 12, so it is ending here, and the y position is at 2. So if I make it 1 2, okay, if I make this position 1 2, that should again put it on the ground. Perfect. So now it is at the ground. It both the lines, both the plotting points are touching the ground, and now it look far better. But again, guys, we don't really tweet the actual data set like this. I'm just doing it for the plotting part. But you usually don't tweet the original data that you're getting. So moving forward, I hope you get the idea. Let's not kill any time on this anymore. But this is what you should be doing. More clean and color should be matching and all those stuff should be minded. Here the color is not matching. It is too much. You know upload kind of images is there, and no label, nothing is there. So try to do that again. I'm not using any label, but suppose decide to use label, I can also put a label, and I'm already using legend. It will look more clear. So let us So now moving forward, we have year GDP. I have two lists, and as you can see, the year is going from small to bigger, and ascending order. We are getting GDP of like this, and this is the values. What we are doing, we are giving the values. So we are just plotting year and GDP. Green is the color. Mark is what we are adding here. So we are as adding a marker. Now marker allow you to put a design in each and every dot. So wherever the intersection, the crossing of x and y happens, it creates a mark there. And line style is solid, so you can also define the line style if you want to. And then the title, then the label, and the show. I'm not using any label, so we won't be using a legend here. So when I run this, I will get something like, okay, here is not defined. Let me, okay, my bad, I have not run this cell. So when I run this, you will get something like this. So as you can see, I'm getting an arrow kind of structure, which look really decent. And it depends where and how you want to work with, and whichever way you want to work, you can put the arrow like that. Okay. And guys, one thing to understand that you can combine all the things that you have learned up to this point for a styling part, and do a very great plotting. But usually when we are working on actual data set and working with the for us, we don't really worry about the looks and appearance. We directly get the plot done and move forward. So this is for learning purpose more, but in actual projects you won't be seeing this too much. Okay, but you should know these kind of stuff in case you ever want to use it or want to present it. Okay, so moving forward, next what I'm doing, guys, the multi-line part is there, so we will try to use multi-line. And for that, what I'm doing, I'm just adding Wednesday, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. So we have these values, as each line is going starting from small, going bigger, and at the center the values are really big. So at till center it grows and then goes down. Every line is like that only. Time series, the y-axis will be common for all the lines. I hope you get the idea here. And what I'm doing, I'm using the plot. So for multiple lines, I have to use multiple plots. For each plot, each line of plotting, you will use multiple plot. So 3 lines are there. I'm using 3 plots. I'm giving hours and Monday, web Monday. So y-axis this time HR, axis is time HR, y-axis is my web Monday, and I'm giving green, red, and blue color. So RBG is there. And what I'm doing, I'm using line style dash dash dash. I'm using line width 2.5. I'm using the label Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday as per the line. What I'm doing next, I have given different color, different labels, and now I will just try to plot it. I'm using the starting value 4 to 20 and minus 100 to 2000. And this is just to show you that you can also use a negative value for initiating the line. Okay, it is on you which value you want to use. Now, what I'm doing, I'm putting X label, Y label, title, and legend. Legend is for the label part, so we can see the label too. When I run this, you will see the output. Okay, I have not defined web Wednesday, which is again above cell. So running both the cells, and this is what I'm getting. So guys, I hope you get the idea that if you plot it like this, you will see lot of line, but they are overlapping too much. And in this kind of scenario, it doesn't look good. Okay, so what you can do, you can also add, say, alpha in this. So I will simply put an alpha. So comma alpha, it is 1 second. Okay, alpha equals to, say, 0.5 is okay. I'm copying the same statement. Okay, putting it here, here, and okay. What next? I think all looks good. So let's run this, and this is my output. So I'm getting a transparent line which is far more visible. Again, the size is also required. Size is very small. So getting back to the top. Okay, no issue. I've not used size anyway up to this point. Let me put it from the scratch. So what we will do here. So what we'll do, we'll also use a plot.size, plt dot figure. In this, I will use figure size to fix size. Okay, I will give, say, 10 comma 10 just to get better result. Okay, so you have this. I think the length was too much. So let's not put 10 comma 10. Let's make it this part 5. So it looks decent. Okay, so we have x and y. So x-axis is 10, y-axis is 5, and this is my plot. So I hope it is far more visible now. It is more clear than this. And look at the difference about between these two. There is same plot, same data set, but the difference of presentation is so much high. And this kind of presentation makes far more sense than this. Okay, so I hope you get the idea. So moving forward, after this plotting part, we can also move forward with the subplotting part. Now, subplotting is something that we use very frequently and is quite famous too. What you do for subplotting, you simply use subplot method and you use this subplot method again and again to get the plot. Let me remove this one because it is just for the confusion part. It will not make much sense. But let me delete this. And this is what we should be using. So what we are doing here, I'm using x equals to range, and this is my range 10. So it will be taking 0 to 9 again and again. What we will do next is we will use plot dot subplot, and I'm defining 3 to 1. Now defining 3 to 1 means that I'm giving 3, 2 and 1. So 3 rows, 2 columns and 1 position. So the position of the plot that I'm giving is 1. So if I give a clear example on this, it means that I'm creating 1 row and 2 row, second row and the third row. Okay, by giving 3 at the starting point. And I'm saying that I want to create 2 columns. So I will be creating 2 columns of these 3 rows like this. Okay, and the position of this position of the plot, now guys, we are saying 3 rows and 2 columns, so it will be position number 1, position number 2 and position number 3. So what we will do, we have 3 position, 1 position, 2 position, 3 position. That is, I'm sorry, not 3 position, it will be 2 position. And in the 3 lines, so we have position 1, position 4, position 5, position 6. So 1 2 3 4 5 6. So this position is called position 1. This position is position 2. This position is position 3, then 4, then 5, then 6. I hope you get the idea. So this is how we're positioning it. And right now I am positioning my particular data set this plot here. Okay, so this says that I want to put my position 1. Okay, this second number, the 11th line, is saying 3 2 2. That means we want to put the plot at location 2. Okay, so we defined 3 rows and 2 columns are there, but we want to put it at the second location, then third, then fourth, and so on. I hope we get the clarity on this. Getting back to this, what we will do, we will give the value x and y, we will do the plotting, we will also give a color. Okay. Now, guys, I hope you understand that you can use every technique that you have learned up to this point in every plot too. So every line can be modified to a very good and advanced line. But right now, let's not make it very complex. More simpler the code, easy to understand, especially with subplot, so you get the clarity. Notice the last two plots where I'm not using any plot.plot. Now this plot.plt.plot means that we are not plotting anything. So these location will be logged. Okay, this location will be logged, but there will be no plotting in that location. So I'm just running this and you will see something like this. As you can see in the output, you are looking at the pictures where you have multiple plots, but you don't have any plotting at the output of the second and third. Okay, this is how you are changing the plot. Again, guys, you can use the figure size to make it better. So let's copy the figure size and put it at the top. I think I have removed the figure size. It was there. I have just, I don't know why have you removed it, but I have removed it for some reason. I don't know what. Putting it and it will be far better. Now it is far more visible. Guys, what we can do, we can also make it 10 at this particular position. So what we can do, make it 15 actually, not even 10. So it will look far better. Okay. I think it got too much bigger and let's make it 10 again then. 10. Okay, decent enough, I think. I hope. Let's make x 15 so it is even decent. Yeah, it is looking now far better. So we have proper plots with a rectangle kind of shape because we have lines. So this looks far better. Now you can add a lot of things. You can add labels. You can add x and y axis label and all those things and trick and all those things just to get it properly plot. And number of ways are there to plot a very decent plot, but I hope you get the part where you can subplot. So you can have multiple plotting and you can use subplot to do this multiple plotting in a single plot. So I hope you get the idea. So moving forward with this, what I'm doing next is I'm using a range 0 20. Guys, this one means nothing. Basically one means you are using the range 20 and it will be having a jump of 1, which is basically by default. So no need to use 1 there. I'm using as I'm giving 1 to 20. The same values are there in both the scenarios. One is starting from 0, one is starting from 1. That is the only difference. Subplotting, given the location 1 to this, and I'm talking about 2 rows and 1 column. So as I hope you must have guessed already that you will be seeing something like that it will have 2 rows. So we will have 2 rows like this. Okay, and in the single plot only. So one column will be there. This is one column and 2 rows, and we are positioning this particular location at location 1. So this is the location is at 1. This plot, for this particular plot, the location is 1. So I hope you get the idea. This is my location. So moving forward, what I'm going to do, I'm going to run the cell, and this is what you are looking at. So you get this kind of plot. So I hope it clears you. You can also use figure size to make it bigger and more proper. It's on you if you want to increase the size like this, but again, I don't want to make it too big. Simpler is better for me. So this is what I'm preferring. But if you want to make it more cleanly visible, you can just copy this code and put it here at the top. It should be at the top. I'm making a mistake here because figure size should be very visible that what figure size you are using, but I don't want to make it 15 because x don't need to be that much bigger. So I think X will be good by say 5 only, and 10 the y-axis, so it should be longer. So does it look good? No, it's not looking good at all. So let's make it 8. So it doesn't look too ugly. No, I'm not satisfied with this either. Actually, I should increase the size of this to 10 and then 8, and not even 8. I will make it 5. I think it now it's look decent. I can I'm okay with this, so I will move forward with this, and let's clean it and let's move forward. So I hope you get the idea. Simple plotting and figure size is very important, so you can just put the figure size. I think again I have not used the figure size. You got the idea. You can put the figure size. You have to decide which value you want to use, where you want to use what kind of value. You have seen enough practical of that. So in the next, I'm again using 0 to 20, same value is there. So you could have used the same TS from above. No need to create it again and again. I'm doing it. I might run cells separately. So that is why I'm copying and pasting the same code here. So location 2, 1, I'm just putting TS and just putting the plot. But guys, notice the last line. In there, you don't see that dash. Dash was not there. Now I'm also putting a dash here with color with R. Now this dash with R means that we are using color with style, guys. This is the shortcut to do this. The same line style and color, you can define it like this, straightforward shortcut way is there, and you can get a plot like this. Okay, now you are getting a red line like this, and this is your plot. Now the size is not okay, so again putting the same size. So X will be longer, Y will be shorter. That looks, in this case it is not a good idea, so let's make it 5. Okay, and X will be 5, Y will be thicker, so it will look even uglier. I'm doing it opposite. I should make it Y should be 5 and X should increase to say 8. That will look little decent. I think increase the number is okay. So Y is not required to be even 5, I think, and this should become 10 for now. I hope I'm improving it. Let's make it 15 then. Decent. I think I have to reduce the width. It is looking too ugly right now. Not this much. Let's make it 3. Perfect. And let's put a double dash, and you get the double dash here. So okay, so you got the idea. So guys, I'm just putting a double dash, and with TS in the first plot I'm not putting a double dash, I'm putting a double dash in the second plot. By using the double dash you get this kind of output. So you get this dotted line that you're looking for, which is really very beautiful. If I pick the same code, okay, and paste it here, what I want to do, I want to put a marker here. So I will put a marker like this, getting some output like this. So double dashes with marker. So guys, again, I have done the line dash, line style part, the marker part, the color part. All 3 parameters are given in a single line with this in the quotation. So this is the shortcut way of doing it. But why I'm not telling it this from the first very starting step? Because guys, you should know the shorter ways too. Again guys, Matplotlib is a very dynamic library and it gets updated very frequently. So you should know the older fashion, new fashion, every fashion, because these things keep changing, and it might change and you are running the same code and it might start giving you an error. So that happens a lot. So you should know the old fashioned way, so you know how to do it from the scratch. Okay, so I hope you get the idea. This is a faster and the more effective way of doing it. Moving forward, Next, what I'm doing, I'm using matplotlib. In this, I'm using percentage matplotlib in line plot dot figure. Figure size is 16,9, and I'm putting it in the axis, x-axis and the y-axis. Once I'm done with this, I'm also using 0, 20, dot, comma 20, comma 1 range, and putting a second value. Now, guys, again, same reply that it will be the same thing. So I'm not using one here. So because I don't want you guys to be confused on this. And what I'm doing, I'm just running the cell. So I get the idea. I'm using same code, TS and dash and everything. Nothing new is there. Just running the cell. You'll get this kind of plot. Now, it is way too big, which is not required. Uh, to be frank, the size, instead of having x16, it could have done with the xy5, and keeping the, it is okay with 9. I think I'm okay with 9. Okay, I put y axis there. My bad. So I have to, not 9. It is this is what I want to make it 5, and I want to make it, just make it 15 for now. Let's see what happens. Decent enough plot, I guess. I can, I think I'm okay with this. So this is 15 comma 5. So x axis and y axis. I've also written it at this next of it. Next, what we can do that, I'm also putting dash here. Single dash is not going to work here like this. What? Sorry, this was dash, not space. Okay, this is far better. And can we really use design in between? Let me try that too. If it works, great. If not, it's okay. I will just put it at the end. Okay, so we have this kind of design. So I hope you get the clarity. Now, guys, there are multiple designs that you can use. If you want to use, say, two design, that is not also, you're not going to like it. So it will give you some kind of error here. So you have to just use one markdown, and you can use it like this. Okay, this is the way of putting a design, and I hope you get the idea. Let's put a dash and put, say, blue only. I don't want to change the color. Double dash, and with this double dash I want to put an O. If I run this, I will get this kind of design. So I hope you get the idea. There are multiple ways of putting a design, and every design has its own unique pattern. So you can try a subplotting, say 6 into 6 plot, and try different design. Every variable might give you a different kind of design. There are, I think, 3 or 4 ways majorly that we use. That is small O, the cap part, the dash part, abstract part. These are the main designing that we use very frequently. So I hope you get the idea how to do this. Okay. Moving forward with this, I hope you are clear with this. Let's move forward, and in the next cell, nothing fancy. It might look very big. I'm just pressing enter after every comma, so that is why it is like this. Okay, you can also give values like this. It is more visible and clear. So what I'm doing, I'm giving a figure size. So x-axis is my 10, y-axis is my 6. So it will be 6 feet long and 10 feet width. And I'm just giving a color code. You can also provide a color code if you want to give color code. This color code is available in the Matplot libraries, the documentation, where you have a whole chart for color codes. Subplot 2 to 1 is similar to this 2 comma 2 comma 1. Okay, so this and this code is same. So you can also give this single value. And moving forward, you can use 0.5 for x and y coordinate. ABC 2 comma 2 comma 1 is what I am giving. And this text will be required and be printed, and horizontal alignment, which can be written as HA, which I have done below. And vertical alignment, it can be written as VA. Just to give you the full form, I'm using horizontal and vertical, so you know the full form too. With that, I'm using font size 20, alpha is 0.5, color is B. In the second plot, again, guys, notice the location. One is 2 to 1, second is 2 to 4. Now 2 to 4 and 2 to 1 means that locations 1 and 4. So guys, that indicates that 2 and 3 has nothing. There is empty slot for 2 and 3. When I run this, you get this kind of plot. So you have A and B, and you are having nothing at the third and the fourth position. Guys, again, because I'm using face color equals to Python course green, I'm getting this green color here. I hope it clears the code, and its code is quite clear. Just moving forward, now I will try the same thing, but this time I also want to use X trick label and Y trick label. As you can see here, I'm getting the text and everything. But if you want to, put, you can say angle. If you want to put the labels properly at the bottom, we usually use X trick and Y trick. You will notice this also in the image processing deep learning, where we will use these values to put the label right next to the image. So X and Y tricks are usually empty and given like this only. And apart from that, I'm having the same values. Nothing is changing here. Same values are there. Again, I'm just using X trick and Y trick. When I run this, you will see that here I'm not getting any bottom name and anything like that, but I'm using ABC here. Uh, there. So Y trick Y label is ABC, which I'm getting here. Okay, in this first plot, I'm getting this label. Above, I have not given a label library, if I'm correct. Yes. Okay, so I'm getting this bottom label, bottom name, because of this X trick and Y trick. So I hope it is clear. Moving forward, next is quite simple plotting. And what we are doing here, I'm using symbol figure size. I'm just giving n equals to 500. Okay. And I'm trying a scatter plot. Now, scatter plot is a very strong plotting method. Let me also put it text here. I'm using a scatter plot, and that's it. Let me make it scatter plot so it looks better. So let us discuss the scatter plot now. In a scatter plot, we just go for the simple plotting, and that is that we need a number. So I'm taking n equals to 500. What I'm doing, I'm using np random and rand n. So any random number will be picked, and after this, it will be given to x and y. Now, once we are done with this, what we will do, we will simply pick xy, color b, alpha zero point 0.4. Now we are taking transparency for the reason that it might overlap each other, and in this case of overlapping, we should be able to see it clearly. Then title, label, x label, y label, and show. So let me run the cell. You will see something like this. You will see the plotting, the plots, the dots where you see it is way too dark. The reason for this darkness is that it is overlapping each other. So wherever you see the overlap, the color will be darker, and this is how you spot a overlapping spot. Sometimes they overlap very perfectly, like this spot where you don't see any other coming out of the cell. So they are perfectly overlapping, but because of the transparency, we're able to spot it. So this is why the transparency is very important, especially in scatter plot. Now, so coming back to the X and Y part, so I'm creating a X list, Y list, plot dot scatter, X, Y, label scatter plot, color R, mark is star. What I'm doing, I'm using plot dot X label, plot dot X Y label, title and legend. The main line that we is here is you need to notice is the scatter plot where I'm providing the color and the design. When I plot this, I will get something like this. So you can also use mark for the dot. In further, what we cells, what are we are doing? We are just giving to a list. So one list is days 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and other are the areas where we want to work on. So sleep and eat, working and playing. This is basically the plot of stack plot. Let me also put it like this. Sorry, one second. Let's put it like this. stack plot. Now we have sleep, eat, working, and playing. What we're doing, we're plot dot stack plot, day, sleep, eat, working, playing, color, and this is my colors. These are my colors. Now plot dot x label, plot dot y label, and we have x and y, and plot dot title, day wise activities, time spent, pattern. This is my color that I'm getting. Again, you can use several color which are available, and you just need to use the initial label for that, and it will be working for you. So I hope you get the idea. So it will look a little better if I use blue here. Yeah, and I think others are okay. So I hope you get the idea. These are the color combination that we are using, and this is the output. So you can make it as beautiful as possible. And moving forward with this, what we are doing, we are using a greater size. So I'm increasing the size 12 into 6. So x will be 12, 6, and width will be 6. So height will be x. This is sorry, x and y is there. So x is my 12 and y is my 6, which is the height. And then I'm plotting it. So I'm using blank plot and putting the values like this. So label, sleeping, length, width, and all those things. In stack plot, what I'm doing, I'm just putting the same values, colors are there. And what I'm doing, I'm just plotting it. So nothing new, just providing the legends and the labels here this time. When I run this, you will see something like this, which is more defined it. So again, you can modify it like this, and it can be a very helpful thing to do. If you just go for the definition, you will see that way the color can be also given here. So color, baseline, labels can be also given here, and stack and other things that can be also given here. So there are options here too. Depends way how you want to work on, and you can choose any condition that you want to work with. Um, this is the easiest step because people are more familiar with this plotting part. So that is why I'm using it. You can try different techniques too. It is on you how you want to work on. So I hope you get the idea. In the next cell, what I'm doing, I'm taking a slice that is 7 to 13. What I'm doing, I'm using activities and using sleep, eating, working, playing. After that, I'm also giving the color CMRB. Uh, I'm using a pie chart in this case. So pie chart is basically a circle and where you have the division for the chart. So it is quite straightforward and simple. Nothing complex is there. So if we talk about the shape, it's like this. Okay, and inside this shape what you will do, you will simply have division. So you will have division like this. Okay, it can be like this and this, so whatever the division is. Okay, this is called pie chart. Now each area basically defines a particular value. So it defines, okay, this area belongs to the class 1, class 2, class 3, and class 4. And as per the division we decide, okay, this is the portion that is from the complete 100%, and this much percent is covered by a, the 1, then this much percent is covered by 2, then this much percentage is covered by 3, and this much percentage is covered by 4. This is how you covering the pie plot. So simple step for plotting. So to achieve this, this is explode. Explode means that if you have a pie, you want to explode a particular area. So this particular piece will be looking like this away from the main pie chart. And if we talk about this other part, the shadow, if you want to put a shadow, so if you want to put a shadow of this piece, this shadow will be given by the shadow part. And the color you already know. Angle, starting angle means you want to start it from zero, from the very center. And labels you already know. And at octoplicity, basically use if you want to show the percentage. So whatever value says 33 is the value. So it will show it in the percentage. That's it. Quite straightforward and a very easy way of doing it. So what I'm doing, I'm just cleaning this and running the cell. So you will get the clear idea once you see the output. This is my output I'm getting. this much percent of playing, and then this, and this, and this. I hope you get the idea, and you can easily see the exploding part. So piece one, because I'm giving it in the piece one, so piece one will be exploding when I give this. Moving further, when we talk about bar charts, we are trying a list which has these values. These are my values, and once I have these values, I will use score, and these are the second values. Now what I'm doing, I'm listing it the movies, then bar, and just having this output. So let me run the cells so you get the clear idea. These are simple, straightforward things. So these are my bar chart. Simply use plot dot bar, and we give the to list here, and we get the output like this. Bar chart is relatively very simple and straightforward. Then we have this. Okay, same bar chart, nothing new. I'm using a for loop there. Then this, where we are using two bar charts. So I'm plotting two bar charts, comparing the two values to one each other. So I hope you get the idea that like we compare the lines, we're comparing the bar charts here. And I think other parts are same as well. So these are the histogram and the scatter plot. In a scatter plot, if you want to plot again and again, if you want to compare two values, this is the only way. You have to use that plot part and twice, and that is the same thing for scatter plot, bar chart, and whatever you want to do. So use it twice and you can compare two values. So if you have three values, you will use it three times. So same thing goes on, and you can keep doing the same part. If you want to use the plotting, and again, in scatter plot, you can also use label to do this. A note is the thing that you will use for that, and you will simply use a note, and a note will give you the label, this dot with the above label like this. So straightforward code, same coding is there. You just need to use different charts, and for different charts you will use different values. Apart from that, nothing is new. Same thing will be repeating again and again. So I hope you get the clear idea how to use this and that. And this will be the end of the sheet. So this is all for the sheet. I think I've run this cell. DF is not defined, year is not defined. So year is not given. Okay, so DF is not defined. This is some other cell that I must have deleted earlier. So maybe by mistake it is there. So let me remove this. It is not required here. Okay. And last is box plotting. So let me run the cell first. So straightforward, simple box plotting is there. For box plotting, you just give uh, whatever the name is and plot. So whatever input name you have used, and I'm just giving the box plot. So I'm just adding the subplot like this and giving it like this. So you don't have to do it like this. You can simply use box plot directly and get the plotting done. So box plot is something that we will be using more in the coding part rather than here. And I hope you get the idea of how to work with the main plotting parts and how they really works. So just go through the video, do the plotting that we have done up to this point. Main point is up to this point only. Apart from this, it is this repetition, and you can try the code. You can clear the code. Once you are done with the practice part, we will also do this in the live class where you get the clarity on this. I hope it was fruitful and helpful. It is almost more than 1 hour of class, so I don't think I should extend it anymore. So closing it, and you just need to do the practice of the basic stuff again and again, so you get the hand-on experience on this. So this is all for the class today, and thank you for your time.